Welcome back. We now come to a very special session. There's a theme here that is gaining in relevance in corporate circles, in government circles all over the world, and now here in India too. We're talking about the environment and just how relevant it is in terms of where we go from here as a country and of course even as corporate India, and whether or not environment is necessarily in conflict with growth when it comes to revenue or profit projections going forward. We of course have a special panel here to speak us through this entire topic. And remember that there's also been this very interesting statistic that comes up here, which talks about companies, let's say in Europe, which are willing to spend as much as 30% of their revenues towards environmental means or environmental causes, or indeed improving their own environmental track record. Here in India, that number is still limited to double digits, or perhaps to single digits, excuse me, or perhaps not at all. So let's try and grapple with this. The panel with us here right now includes Padma Shri Alik Padamsee. He's a communications expert in theatre and advertising, doesn't really need an introduction. Ms. Laxmi Dhaul is the CEO of Prithvi Media and now also a filmmaker. So we're glad to have you with us too, ma'am. And of course, we also have the DG Hydrocarbons, Mr. S.K. Srivastav, with us on this panel. Great to have you, sir. Thank you. Some of the scenario that gets painted very often is, you know, one of doom and gloom and this sort of scary proposition that the planet's going to sort of blow up in our face. All of that is true. It's also something that most of us acknowledge, and you know, we're all very happy to sit around a dining table and sort of intellectually dwell on this. But how do you actually get people, specifically in the Indian context, how do you get people to actually do something about it on a personal level? Because you know, we can talk about corporates doing things and governments doing things, but you know, people in India don't really seem to care as much as, let's say, what's happening in the West in terms of these movements. That people in leadership positions today, when it comes to specifically the environment, it's just a situation where they just don't care, or people just don't care. Is that it? Is that really the problem?
I think also when you talk about environmental measures like energy efficiency, controlling consumption of fuel, using, as Alec mentioned, using efficient lights and stuff like that, all these demand side management, energy audits, all these things come in when the cost of petroleum goes high. The moment the cost of per barrel petroleum comes down below $100,
people stop caring.
People stop caring. And this time we were abroad, I was really happy to see the hybrid cars. In Rome, in Paris, everywhere there are hybrid cars. And they have a very comfortable balance of your cells as well as fuel. You know, and I think unless we go into hybrid cars, and then let each family have 3-4 hybrid cars, we don't mind. But that is a very important thing. But I think unless petroleum, the price of petroleum, of course, Mr. Srivastav would possibly tell us more, you know, is a permanent, and people realize that it pinches, people will not do demand side management.
Right.
And also I'm a big advocate, sorry, this is a little out of context, unless we control our population through communication, what Alex says, we cannot save our environment.
It's like a domino effect then in any case.
Right.
But do you believe that the next generation that's coming, the kids who you're trying to reach through your film, let's say, do all of you believe that that generation is going to be that much more cognizant and perhaps that much more careful?
I think they're already questioning us. Right now they don't know anything other than don't use plastic. You know, this is a thing that's told to them. But the thing is, we don't give alternatives to plastic. So these kind of cliched things they know, but the thing is that we have to recycle. Recycling is important. And I think children are aware, and once they get into the perspective of things, I hope it's not too late.
Right.
For them
I
to
would
make
say that,
something.
sorry, yes, it's true. Children, when we say children are aware, we mean children who are going to good schools and colleges.
Who are being told this.
As far as the major population, 70%, who are in the rural areas, they are totally unaware, and there's no communication at all with them, nothing.
But is good policing the answer as well? Because let's say with plastic bags in Delhi, for example, you know, they finally just had to sort of enforce the law, and now you can't use plastic bags. You don't find them anywhere. Of course, you still find them, but what I mean is you don't find them in any shops, small or big. Is that the way forward, saying that?
No,
look,
one of the ways is the government of Maharashtra, and I must say that's a good measure, has said that if you want a plastic bag when you do your shopping and you want the company to give it to you, for instance, any of the big stores, they've sent around an SMS to all their customers, and I hope it gets into the papers, saying if you want a plastic bag, you will have to pay for it. This size you'll pay 5 rupees extra, this size you'll pay 10 rupees extra, and this size you'll pay 20 rupees extra. Now that is the kind of thing that I think you're talking about. As soon as the cost factor comes in,
deterrent.
yes, Indians then become socially, shall we say, conscious, because the pain is not in the heart, the pain is in the wallet.
Mr. Srivastava, incentives are also another way to do this, because let's say the automobile industry will be very happy if there's tax incentives on hybrids and electric vehicles.
It's there, but at least I've seen in Delhi, I lived in Noida, people have, really very good population is really not bothered. They have one person or two persons in the family. They have 4 or 5 cars.
No, but as a consumer, if I can buy the same car, the hybrid version and the petrol version for the same price, then maybe I'll think about it.
Yes. Yeah,
So,
it will
but that
definitely.
needs a tax incentive.